The grand ballroom of the Royal Crescent Hotel sparkled beneath crystal chandeliers. Business leaders from around the world filled the room, discussing investments worth millions of dollars. At the center of it all stood Ethan Carter, one of the youngest billionaires in America. At 34, Ethan had built a technology empire that stretched across 3 continents. Newspapers called him a genius. Investors called him a visionary. But on this particular evening, Ethan was panicking. His company's biggest deal of the year depended on a meeting with a delegation from China. If successful, the partnership would bring more than $50 million in new contracts. There was just one problem. His translator had disappeared. Ethan checked his watch for the 3rd time. "Where is Daniel?" he asked his assistant. She looked nervous. "I've called him 6 times. His phone is off." Ethan felt his stomach tighten. The Chinese delegation was arriving in less than 20 minutes. Without a translator, the negotiations could collapse before they even began. The guests continued laughing and chatting around him, unaware that a potential disaster was unfolding. "Find someone," Ethan ordered. "We're trying." But finding a professional Mandarin translator at the last minute wasn't easy. The hotel manager approached them. "Mr. Carter, your guests have arrived." Ethan looked toward the entrance. 5 executives entered the ballroom. Leading them was Mr. Zhang Wei, chairman of one of China's largest manufacturing companies. The man smiled politely. Ethan forced a smile back. His confidence was beginning to crack. As introductions started, Ethan realized the situation was worse than he thought. Only one member of the delegation spoke basic English. The others relied heavily on Mandarin. A misunderstanding now could destroy months of preparation. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ballroom, a young waitress named Lily Morgan balanced a tray of drinks. At 26, Lily worked double shifts to support her mother. Most people barely noticed her. To them, she was just another waitress serving food. But Lily had a secret. Years earlier, she had spent 8 years living in Shanghai. Her father had worked there as an engineer, and Lily had attended local schools. She spoke Mandarin almost as fluently as English. Yet nobody knew. She rarely mentioned it. After all, what use was speaking Mandarin when you spent your days serving drinks? As Lily passed near Ethan's table, she overheard fragments of conversation. She noticed the awkward pauses, the confused expressions, the growing frustration. Mr. Zhang said something lengthy in Mandarin. The temporary interpreter struggled. His translation sounded incomplete. The Chinese executives exchanged worried glances. Ethan rubbed his forehead. This was becoming a disaster. Then something unexpected happened. Lily couldn't help herself. "Excuse me," she said softly. Everyone turned toward her. The billionaire looked surprised. "Yes." Lily hesitated. "I'm sorry for interrupting, sir. But I think the translation may not be entirely accurate." Silence. The hotel manager nearly dropped his clipboard. One of the executives frowned. Ethan stared at her. "You speak Mandarin?" "Yes." "Mr. Zhang suddenly addressed her directly. Fluent Mandarin flowed from his lips. Without hesitation, Lily answered. The Chinese executive's eyes widened. A smile spread across his face. The other delegates immediately became excited. For the first time that evening, they looked relaxed. Ethan could hardly believe what he was seeing. "What did he say?" Lily turned toward him. "He said he's impressed that someone here speaks Mandarin so naturally. He thought he was back in Shanghai." Several delegates laughed. The tension in the room vanished. Instantly, Ethan felt a spark of hope. "Would you be willing to help us?" he asked. Lily looked at her waitress uniform. "I'm not exactly dressed for corporate negotiations." Mr. Zhang said something else. She translated. "He says great communication matters more than expensive suits." The entire table laughed. Even Ethan smiled. "Please," he said. "You'd be saving my evening." Lily glanced at the hotel manager. The manager nodded. "Go ahead." For the next 2 hours, Lily sat beside some of the world's most powerful executives. At first, she felt nervous. She had never participated in high-level business negotiations. But language was language, and understanding people was understanding people. Soon, she was translating complex discussions with remarkable precision. Technical specifications, manufacturing timelines, investment proposals. Nothing seemed to challenge her. Again and again, the Chinese executives nodded approvingly. Ethan watched in amazement. The young waitress wasn't simply translating words. She was translating meaning. Whenever cultural misunderstandings appeared, she bridged them effortlessly. When one side became confused, she clarified. When negotiations grew tense, she softened the conversation. By the end of the evening, something extraordinary had happened. The atmosphere had transformed completely. Mr. Zhang stood and extended his hand. Ethan shook it. The partnership was approved. A deal worth millions had been secured. Applause filled the private dining room. Ethan felt enormous relief. Without Lily, none of this would have happened. As the executives celebrated, Mr. Zhang turned to Lily. He spoke warmly in Mandarin. What did he say? Ethan asked. Lily smiled. He said the smartest person in the room tonight wasn't the billionaire. Everyone laughed, including Ethan. For the first time in years, he felt genuinely humbled. After the meeting ended, guests began leaving. Lily quietly prepared to return to her normal duties. But Ethan stopped her. Wait. She turned around. Yes, I owe you more than a thank you. She shook her head. No, you don't. You saved a multi-million-dollar partnership. Lily smiled politely. I just translated. No, Ethan replied. You did much more than that. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Ethan asked a question that surprised her. How does someone with your skills end up working as a waitress? Lily's smile faded slightly. Life wasn't always fair. Sometimes talent and opportunity never met. My father died when I was 19, she explained. We came back from China. My mother became ill. College became impossible. Ethan listened carefully. I've worked ever since. There was no self-pity in her voice. Only honesty. That impressed him even more. Most people complained about obstacles. Lily simply kept moving forward. The billionaire looked thoughtful. What if I told you this doesn't have to be your future? She blinked. What do you mean? I mean someone with your intelligence belongs in boardrooms, not carrying trays. Lily laughed softly. That's kind of you. I'm serious. For a moment, Ethan saw something familiar in her eyes. Determination. The same determination he had once possessed when building his first company from a tiny apartment. An idea began forming in his mind. A very big idea. And neither of them realized that tonight's chance meeting would change both of their lives forever. Because the biggest opportunity wasn't the business deal that had just been signed. It was the partnership that was only beginning. And it started with a waitress who dared to speak up when everyone else stayed silent.